Hey guys, so it has been entirely too long since I recorded a video for either my drawing channel or for this channel right here. So I thought I would do something special, and that's why I spent all last night making this very fashionable Gundam fin for my face. It's kind of lumpy in places, and I guess the real way to do it would be to get a 3D printed version and do resin casts, and so I can get the perfect angles. But foam does it does pretty good in a pinch. So whatever, fuck it. Gundam fin, which you probably know why because you clicked on the title of this video, which I haven't quite figured out, but I'm pretty sure Gundam is going to be in the title somewhere. So my mom came up with a great holiday hack by accident, and I thought I would share it with you this holiday season, because holidays usually mean getting together with your immediate and extended family. And even if you lie to yourself and say that you get along with absolutely everyone in your family, and that's a pretty good lie, chances are at some point during the holiday you are going to go absolutely fucking stir crazy and want to just run outside and curl up into a ball in the woods and ignore everybody. This is especially true if you are a freelancer and you work from home, and if you're not working, you're not making any money. Holidays can be really stressful because you feel like you need to be working and doing something because you're not making any money. And if you're not making any money, why the fuck are you hanging out with people? So yeah, my mom came up with a brilliant idea just because out of necessity. Like every year, she brings crafts for my niece and nephew and now my daughter to do, because it can be really frustrating for kids if they don't have anything to do while everyone else is working on, wrapping presents or getting the big meal ready or anything like that. If they have nothing to occupy their time, they kind of lose their shit. So a couple years my mom would bring like paper for them to cut, little paper models for them to put together, or like the gingerbread house, which always is a mess because the kids want to eat the candy, but they have to build the house, but they don't want to share, and there's always these arguments. So this year my mom said fuck it, and she got a whole bunch of Gundam models and put them into a big ass suitcase and brought them with her and gave them to everybody. And it wasn't just the kids building the models, it was everybody. It was the adults, it was us. We were all sitting around the kitchen table putting together our Gunpla. And so I would like to talk to you about Gundams and Gundam modeling and all that kind of stuff. And we will start with the term Gunpla, which is the most Japanese term in the universe. It takes two words, Gundam and plamo, and mashes them together. And plamo itself is a mashup of two other words, plastic modeling. So plastic models, boom, you get plamo. Gundam, plamo, boom, you get Gunpla. So it can be pretty daunting to get into the Gunpla hobby if you're unfamiliar with some of the terms and the different levels of difficulty of assembling kits. Like if you go out to the store and buy yourself a gigantic master grade and open up the box, there's all this shit there, and it can be quite overwhelming, especially if you've never watched the show or if you've never put together any model kits to begin with. So I have a stack of models here, and I'm gonna go through the different levels, because it's like Gunpla is sort of like a real life video game. There are different grades you can get, and upgrading to the next grade is a harder difficulty till you get to the final boss, which is the perfect grade, which I don't have an example here of, but I'll go through all the stuff. And I even if you don't know what Gundam is, and even if you have never heard of it or watched the show, or if your only familiarity with it is Wing and you hated Wing because you're an actual human being, this should give you a nice primer. So and it turns out that Gunpla is for the entire family because all of us really got into it. So it surprised the shit out of me. So all right, let's just get started. So very basic model. This model in particular, the petite GG guy, the little bear guy. This kit is excellent for beginners. It has like maybe two runners, and here I'll open the box. This one's already built, but it's got like two basic runners, You can pop them out with your fingers. You don't have to use any side cutters or anything like that. They're easy to put together. The instructions are all in Japanese. They do have some English in the margins and stuff like that. But it's really easy to put together. Hazel, my 3-year-old, popped out all the pieces, put them all together, and stuck them all together. So, Bear Guy. This is the one you should start with because it's really fucking cute. And after maybe 20 minutes of work, you have a toy that you can play with and distract yourself with and do all sorts of poses. It has a surprising wide range of motion for having just 5 points of articulation: the head, the arms, and the legs. It's a great little kit. 3-year-old could do it. My 3-year-old could do it. Your 3-year-old could do it. And it's a great introduction into Gundam modeling. You can very quickly tell if you're going to like this hobby or not. And if you like it, then we'll keep going and you can go through the grades and get more kits and get more involved in it. If you don't like it, you at least have a little toy that you can play with and pose with when you're done with the thing and you've spent a good 20 minutes doing something productive. This kit specifically, the Petite Bear G Guy, is a great primer for this hobby. It has everything that other Gundam kits will have. It's got articulated parts. It's got parts that you can swap in and out. It's got little decals that you can figure out how to put on, different versions of them and stuff. It's great, and anyone can do it. Now, price-wise, this is also one of the most affordable kits that you'll find on the market. I've seen them anywhere from like $5 to $10. If you find it in the hobby store and it's $12, I want you to go over there, grab that catalog, roll it up, walk over to the manager, and bash him in the fucking head and tell him that's way overpriced for this cute little fucking thing. If you're charging me $12, I want 2. And if they don't give you 2, walk the fuck out the door, go online and buy them online. Because these things, if someone's charging more than $10 for a Petite Bear Guy, fuck your face. That's bullshit. You can find them for cheap online, on eBay, HobbyLink Japan. I wish this video was sponsored because I would pimp the shit out of all of that shit. But you should not be spending more than $10 for this little dude. Some of the newer versions with like the signs and all that kind of stuff, I think they're around $10. But like 5 to 10 is the range. 12, that's rolled up catalog, bashing in the face territory. Fuck that shit. All right. Bear Guy. Get a whole bunch of them. Your family will love them, and even if they don't love them, they'll at least have a toy that they played with after an hour's worth of work, or 20 minutes worth of work, depending on how long it takes. This is great to do with little kids too. You just have to keep an eye on them. If your child is someone who likes to put things in their mouth, maybe Gunpla is like a 6-year-old thing. But if your kid just likes fiddling with little things, just keep an eye on them. Make sure they're not putting the pieces in their mouth because they are jaggedy and stuff like that. But anyway, here's what the Bear Guy looks like. The little Bear Guy. This is the only built example that I'll have this demo because as you get into this hobby, you find that you have a lot of kits that you haven't built in the boxes. But anyway, Petite Bear Guy, 5 points of articulation. It's really good. It's super cute. The eyes are decals, or if you're very adventurous, you can get a Gundam marker and paint it and do all that kind of stuff. But that's some next level modding shit that, you know. Anyway, Bear Guy, pretty good for the family. I think we had about like 10 of these. My niece and nephew and my daughter absolutely loved them. They would just build them and play with them and like, this is my guy, this is my guy, blah, 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 blah. So you can reenact like the 3 little bears with like these 3 little bears. Anyway, pretty cool. Bear Guy, Petite Bear Guy, Petite, what is it called? Petite GG Guy. They come in a bunch of different colors. There's a yellow one, there's a red one, there's a blue one, duh. But they come in all sorts of varieties, so good one to start with. Next up in the line are the super deformed Gundams, and you'll find these dudes wearing a whole bunch of different samurai armor. And what they do is they take a base Gundam from the series, or maybe it's a Zaku, and they shrink it down to super deformed proportions, which means big ass head, small ass body, and they put samurai armor on them. These kits are a step up from the Petite Bear GG Guy. They should be in the same price range. some of the bigger ones, well, some of the bigger boxes have more parts to them or different versions of stuff. But these are pretty cool because they have, even though their articulation sucks, like the guy can move his arm like this, and that's basically it. You get a swivel joint here, and maybe you get your legs twist like this, and maybe the head does that. The nice thing about these is they have all sorts of different armor parts that slide in and out and different faces. So like he has angry face here, but on the side of the box, he has like a cutie face or something like that. So the super deformed Gundam kits, and there are so many different lines of this. Like this is the Brave Battle Warrior line, but there's like a BB Senshi version. They also do just straight up SD kits, super deformed kits of Gundams that don't have the samurai armor. But I like the samurai armor ones because I'm a super weeb and I like samurai movies. So, you know, a Gundam with the sword, that's like totally aimed at me. So this is a step up from the Petite Bear G guy. They have more decals. Some of them have shiny parts, like this model will probably, the yellow parts will probably be in a shiny plastic, which is really cool. And it's great to show off for people. And you'll have like a little samurai dude at the end of it. So this is a step up from the Petite Bear guy. Next level. So the SD Gundams, they don't have like a level associated with them, like a grading system associated with them. I mean, this dude is a high grade, but that's because it's from a specific series. Whatever, we'll get into it. But yeah, so you'll find these online. You'll find them in stores. They should be around the same price range, like maybe like 8 to 12. If you're paying $20 for one of these, it should be like a limited edition, or it should all be shiny or clear parts, or if it doesn't have any of that shit, roll up that catalog and smack that manager right dead in the fucking face. Bam. Fuck that shit. You're overcharging. Next up, from the SD Gundams, we have the high grade series. High grade, you can tell they're high grade because they have a HG at the top left or the top right of the box. HG. This particular kit is from the HG Gundam The Origin series. There's also a, let's see, this one is a HG Universal Sentry, so HGUC. So the scale on these, you know, the box art is great. Look at that. That's pretty fucking cool. You can cut out the box art and stick it on your wall. Anyway, the scale of these is 1:144. So that means something to some people, but for people who aren't super into Gundam, it just means that they're slightly bigger than the SD kits. So typical SD kit will come out to be bear guy size. High grade kit will usually come out to be a little bit bigger than the bear guy, and then the master grade will be, you know, like this big. So high grade. This is my favorite series. This is my favorite grade of kits because it offers a lot of flexibility in terms of mods that you can do. The pieces are pretty small, so if you have bad eyesight, you might need to get yourself a pair of tweezers just to help you hold things down. These take a little bit longer than the SD kits. They, you know, you could bang together an SD kit to like 20-40 minutes. This will probably take an hour or two, depending on your familiarity with Gundam building. If you've never built a Gundam, this will probably take an hour or two, which is great because that's an hour or two that you're not fucking around with other people in the house, or you're not distracting people from their cooking, or you're not taking away from people wrapping up presents and shit. So yeah, high grade Universal Sentry. Features of these kits, they have a lot of articulations, whereas the SD and the Petite Bear guy have maybe like 5 points of articulation. These guys have a bunch of points of articulation. You got shoulders that move up and down this way. You got elbows. You got wrists that move this way. You got a shoulder, not a shoulder, a bicep. What is this? A bicep gimmick that rotates the entire arm. You got ankles that move. You got knee joints. You got hip joints. Hip is usually a ball and socket, so you can pose them with like sidekicks and stuff. They come with a whole bunch of different weapons, and they usually have two versions of the hand. So there's usually an open hand or a closed fist, and you can usually put weapons in the fist. This guy is the what is this guy? This is the prototype Goof. It's one of my favorite kits. It comes with a shit ton of weapons here. You got this this whip here, like a hand cannon thing, shield, heat hawk. So high grade kits are great. They give you a lot of articulation. They have a couple of decals. Like I expect that the eye is going to be a decal, and the white things on the horns are going to be a decal. But to really get the most out of your high grade kit, you want to get your hands on some paints, some Gundam markers to do the panel lining and stuff like that. That's some next grade shit. If you just build the kit out of the box and put the decals on it, it's gonna look pretty badass. But to get that extra level of badassery, you might need a little bit of paint, a little bit of stuff. But yeah, high grade, the high grade kits are great. It's in between. So like, if your cousin Susie is all like, well, those bear guys or those SD kids, they're lame, they're too easy. You stick this shit in front of her face and say, look, girl, make this. Shut your face and make a badass Goof. And she'll be like, oh, I don't want to. Say, fucking build the kit. And then she'll build the kit, and she'll be like, oh my god, that's amazing. I wish I had more kits to do. So yeah, great for sassy people who think they're too good for you, or people who like robots. So give it to them. These are a little bit more expensive than the SD kits. I would say your $20 to $30 range. Some of them are $40, and they usually come in bigger boxes and have a lot more pieces. So we're not into catalog roll up, smash you in the face territory just yet. If you find a high grade kit that's like 50 plus, that shit better be limited edition or have shiny bits on it, or that box better be like this fucking big. If you're paying $50 for a box this size and it's high grade, well, then you know what you gotta do. You gotta roll up that catalog and bash that motherfucker in the face. That's too much. Buy this shit online. Hobby Link Japan. I wish they were sponsoring it, but they're not. So fuck it. But get it. All right. High grade. Susie's done with high grade. She's like, fuck it. I need more. I need something more complex. I need something more. I need something extra. Well, then we have master grade. And master grade, this is an example of a master grade box. It's not the best example because this particular kit is one of those extra kits. Like, you'll pay extra for this one because there's more shit to it, and it's big. Like, when it's done built, it's like this fucking big, and it's got this giant backpack. It's so big it can't stand on its own. You have to have like a stand to shove it up its butt so like you can display it and stuff. But master grade features of master grade kits. High grade had a whole bunch of articulation. This has more articulation. These move like they move in the cartoon show. Whenever you know, that's the thing I like about Gundam kits. They actually look like the cartoon. The thing that used to piss me off about Transformers, and I'm not hating on Transformers. I like Transformers. But when I was collecting the toys as a kid, it always pissed me off that they could never move like they do in the show. They always looked busted compared to the animation, the cells, and all that stuff. Gundam kits are usually on model. And the master grades can do pretty much everything that the cartoon version can do. If your cartoon robot transforms and does all these fancy things, the master grade can transform and do all those fancy things, and it has an internal skeleton. So if you want to do like a battle damage thing, you know, you scar up one piece of armor and you can show off the internal workings of this thing. So, features of the master grade kits. They have an internal structure that allows them to do all sorts of crazy moves. They have plastic molded in various colors. So, the high grade version of this kit might have this whole forearm stuff molded in one color. The master grade version is going to have the black inner part molded in black. the white part molded in white, and this red piece molded in red. So you don't have to do a lot of paint to get it to look like this. You'll need to do panel lining, and you'll need to put on the decals for sure. But all these little fiddly bits that are different colors, most of them are going to be molded in that color. Master grade. They ain't fucking around. It's master. You know, it's not like, oh, we're going to call it master grade, but we're going to give you this bullshit arm that's all the same color. No. Bandai got you covered, fam. They got you covered. They're bigger. These are 1 to 100 scale. So, like I said, it's about this big when you're done building it. These are 1 to 144 scale. 1 to 144. 1 to 100 scale. They have a what is this, mitten kind of hand. So there's a ball joint in the thumb, and the fingers. This is a one hinge. So you got a hand that can grip things like swords or guns. Master grade kits got a lot of weapons. This one has like little things that come out of its kneecaps. It's got a beam saber. It's got a big ass gun. It's got rocket boosters. This one transforms. Yeah, here. Oh my god, Jesus Christ. This one transforms. You got it turns in from a robot into a spaceship. I mean, Master grade is where it's at. This is gonna be like a couple days maybe, depending on your level of building. Like, it might take you a full day to build the torso, and then maybe the next day you'll do the arms and the legs. You know, whatever. Master grades are great though, because after days and days of work, you will have a robot. So for any of you artists out there who've worked days on days on something and it turns into a pile of shit and you hate it, Gundam is for you, because you spend a couple days making this thing and you have an awesome robot, even if you don't paint it. Straight out of the box, it's gonna look amazing. It's gonna look great. Even if you're just decorating it with the decals. If you add a little bit of paint, a little bit of panel lining, it's gonna blow people away. It's gonna be amazing. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention. By the time you get to this point, you're going to need some tools. Actually, by the time you get to the high grade Universal Century line, whatever, you're gonna need some tools. You're gonna need side cutters. Now, these are the fancy Tamiya modeling side cutters. Don't get that. This is too expensive. Like, I spent way too much money on this bullshit, and they're already chipping a little. You see that? They're chipping a little bit. Go out to your local electronics store, like Micro Center has side cutters. So Radio Shack is out of business, but Micro Center has like a electronics in the back where you can put together kits and Arduinos and Raspberry Pis and shit like that. But they also have side cutters. So get yourself a bunch of side cutters. Don't get wire cutters, because wire cutters have jaws that come to a point like this, but they're both curved. So when you cut your piece, you're gonna have a dent on both sides. Side cutters cut flush. So when you cut that piece off the runner, it's gonna be pretty close. It's almost gonna be a clean cut. And actually, the newer the kit, the easier it is to snap it off the runner and make a clean break from it. You won't need a lot of sanding or finishing to get that to be a flat surface. You should also get yourself some kind of sanding implement. I like these little files. They've got a flat edge. They're easy to get into small places, and they clean easily, so you can use them over and over and over again. My aunt got a set of like diamond tipped or diamond dusted files, and they were great for the kids, because you just go to town and then cleaned it off, and they're still as sharp as the day they were bought. So side cutters, files, something to sand with. By the time you're getting to the high grade stuff, I highly recommend these two. So master grade kits. Oh, they also come with clear parts, like the eyes. They'll probably be clear. These jewel things in the gun, that's probably going to be clear. The scope thing, that's probably going to be like a translucent clearish part. So that's really cool. Once you're done with the master grade and you feel like you need more of a challenge, there are two ways you can go. One, you can go perfect grade, and I do not have an example of that here. They are 1 to 60 scale, so when you're done with it, your kit is going to be about yay tall, and it's like a master grade on steroids. Like, master grades have an internal skeleton, sure, but it's mostly to give the kit more articulation. The perfect grade under skeleton is meant to show the fuck off. You know, you could build the skeleton by itself, and it will have all this detail, the piping and the tubes and little entryways and stuff like that. Maybe some metallic looking parts that make it look like it's actually metal. And you can leave off the armors, and you'll have an amazing robot skeleton. Then when you put on the armor pieces, you've got this amazing Gundam. Master grade might mold this shoulder, this blue shoulder piece, as one thing. The perfect grade, each individual part is going to be an individual part. So you don't have to paint the panel line, because that panel line is already going to exist because it's two different pieces sandwiched together. I mean, the level of detail in these perfect grades is amazing. They have fully articulated fingers. Like, you know, you got all the finger, like you got the ball joints for the base here, but then you got these guys. You got fully articulated fingers. So yes, you can make your Gundam give people the bird. You can do whatever with the Gundam. Like, the perfect grades are amazing. They're like the Cadillac of Gunpla, and the price tag reflects it. Like $80 plus. I mean, if you see a $200 price tag on a perfect grade, your initial reaction is going to be to grab that catalog and roll that motherfucker up. Don't do that, because it's worth it. It's actually worth it. And it sounds shitty to say that out of a $200 model kit, but the amount of time it's going to take you to build it, and the amount of detail and the amount of articulation and the amount of awesomeness contained in that giant fucking box that you're going to need a hand truck to get to your fucking car is actually worth it. $300, that's when you roll up that magazine and beat the shit out of whoever is selling it for $300, because that's way too much. But like anywhere from the 80 to maybe 200 range, I would say that's fair for a perfect grade. 200's a little high, but if you're buying it from Japan and you put in the shipping, it's probably going to be around 200. That's why when you buy from HobbyLink Japan, you should buy a whole bunch of kits at once so that the shipping makes sense. Anyway, if that is too much money for you, there is another grade called the real grade. And I actually have one of them here. This is the real grade Gundam Unicorn. This is 1 to 144 scale. So it's the same scale as the high grade. But the difference between this and this, imagine a master grade shrunk down to high grade size. So this has all the details of a master grade kit in a smaller package, and they spend a lot of time trying to engineer the parts such that when you snap them off the runner, you won't see any flash. So, you know, I told you to get a file. Fuck that. Just leave that at home. All you're gonna need is your side cutters. Cut all the pieces out. You're not gonna need to do a whole lot of finishing. Straight out the box, this kit is going to look amazing. It's going to look like you took a master grade and you put it in the Zentradi Micronium chamber and whoop, shrunk it down. This particular kit has all sorts of transparent red parts on it because of the Gundam Unicorn. You see all that stuff where the red is, that's going to be transparent red. They come with a whole bunch of weapons, a whole bunch of decals, like the real grade kits. It's a sticker kit, basically. It's a sticker kit. You're gonna go and you know, basically mostly your decal sheets are gonna be like this big. Real grade decal sheets, like, and you got all sorts of little fiddly bits. Like, you see that detail on the side of the helmet? That's usually something that they draw in the box art, but that's usually not in the kit. It's in the kit. Any marking you see on the high quality, what the fuck? Key art that you see here, that shit's gonna be in the kit. It's amazing. It's crazy. Like this gold fin thing, that's a decal. That's gonna be here in the kit. This is going to take you as much time as the master grade is to put together. Maybe even more so because the parts are even more tiny. The nice thing about the master grades is that they're nice and big and you can spend a lot of time with it, but you don't have to go searching for parts if they fall down because they're pretty obvious where they are. If a part falls down with this guy, it's going to take you a while to find out, to look for it and all that kind of stuff. So, real grade kits, $40, $50, $60, $70 range. So it's a lot more than the high grade kits, but and it's almost on par with the master grade kits. They're not close to the perfect grades. So if your budget is like around the $50 mark and you want something that's gonna look stunning and you're not comfortable with painting things and you don't like doing panel lines, the real grades, man, it's a lot of value. It seems like it's expensive for the size, but I kind of think it's worth it. Keep in mind, I'm a super dumb Gundam fanatic, so I think I love all this shit. So of course I would say it's worth it, but I honestly do think that it's worth it. Like if a rando saw the real grade kit up next to a high grade kit, they're gonna pick the real grade because the finished product, there's no comparison. Like straight out of the box, this is gonna look cool. This is gonna look fucking amazing. So there you go. Now, a couple of suggestions. When you build your Gundam kits, keep the box. The box serves as a tray for all your trash, for all the little bits of plastic that you're cutting off. That's what the boxes are good for. So keep your box, spend time, look over the instructions a couple of times before you actually start nipping parts and putting things together. If you've done it for a long time, you're probably one of those people who's just like, fuck it, I know what these parts do. So you'll snap all the pieces out first and sand them down and then look at the instructions. I've done that before because I'm a super weeb. But yeah, Gunpla is great. It's a fun hobby. You spend a whole bunch of time making a thing and you get a little toy that you can play with or pose with at the end of it. Everyone has awesome smartphones, so you can do like a Gundam travel log when you're on vacation with your Gundam that you just built, because that's something cool you can do. And it's great fun for the family. Like, my dad has never really been interested in Gundam modeling, but after this past holiday, when he saw everybody getting into it and he was playing with them, he was like, I need to get some Gundam when I get home. So my mom bought him a big ass master grade kit, this giant, well, I don't think Gundam Orphan, Iron-Blooded Orphans, I don't think they technically do master grade kits, but they do have 1 to 100 scale. So my mom brought home a Barbatos. It's fucking huge. So my dad's getting into it, and he's not really a modeling guy. So I think it's great fun for the entire family. It's at least a way to get everybody, to get them out of other people's hairs for like an hour or 2 or 3. And at the end of the time, you have more toys that you can play with. So now, a caution. If you get bit by the Gunpla bug and it becomes a hobby that you enjoy, you see all these kits that I just showed off for you? These are all unbuilt, except for that bear guy. These are all unbuilt, and they've been sitting in my basement because you're going to get to a point where you're like, oh, I want that kit. Oh, I want that kit. And you're going to get them, and you're going to think of all these crazy things you could do with them. Like, oh, I can modify this, and I can do this, and I can paint it this color and do that. You ain't going to do shit. So holidays are awesome for you people who already have Gundam kits lying in your basement, because you can take them with you on the holidays and build them. So, holiday hack. This time, Christmas is coming up. I'm sure you're done with your Christmas shopping, but if you do have a hobby shop near you, or if you do have a lot of discounts online and stuff like that, I highly encourage you going to the shop and picking up a couple models for you and your cousins and your nieces and nephews to build, because at some point during your holiday, you will want some time to just get out of other people's shit and just do something. some families do puzzles, but puzzles, what do you do at the end of the puzzle? You either break it up and put it back in the box, or if you're one of those people, you laminate it and hang it on the wall. And then you got a painting with all these weird fucking cutouts on it. And it's annoying. Like if you look at if you have like the Mona Lisa on the wall, but it's not really the Mona Lisa because it's a puzzle of the Mona Lisa and it's got all these things going right through her fucking face. That's real distracting after a while. And you're going to wonder why the fuck you spent money mounting a fucking puzzle on the fucking wall when you could have had a little bear guy walking around, and maybe you could paint the bear guy as the Mona Lisa, which would be fucking adorable and cute and a good use of your time, and you don't have to hunt around for missing puzzle pieces. You might have to hunt around for missing Gunpla pieces, which sucks because if they're lost, they're really lost, and it's hard to figure out. If you're missing an ear, you're missing an ear. But little cute bear painted as the Mona Lisa is going to look better on your shelf than a fucking puzzle of the Mona Lisa with lines going all through her face, because that's bullshit. So, Gunpla, this holiday season, I so wish this video was sponsored, because then I could tell you all the fun places to go and shop for Gundams. Amazon is obvious. If you live in the DC area, there's a chain of hobby stores called Hobby Works. They got one in Rockville, they got one in Laurel, and they got one in Northern Virginia somewhere. They stock Gundam kits. They have bear guys for very affordable prices. Although not the Rockville one, because my mom bought when she got back from vacation. She bought all the bear guys that they had there. So you'll have to check out the Laurel or the Virginia stores. But my favorite place to buy stuff is from Hobby Link Japan, HLJ.com. They sell kits at the Japanese prices. So like, bear guys will be like 700 yen, which is roughly like $7. Only trick is shipping. International shipping kind of sucks. So you'll want to get a list of kits and buy a whole shit ton at once from HLJ and they'll ship it to you. But even with shipping, if you don't have a hobby shop near you that stocks stuff, HLJ is great. They won't get here for the holiday season, so maybe that part of the life hack doesn't quite work, but they're affordable. I think I heard rumors that Toys R Us is selling Gundam kits, or at least SH Figuarts, which isn't the same thing, but they might have kits there. We don't have Toys R Us near us, which is really sad for me as an adult child, but oh, and Barnes & Noble sell Gundam kits, but they mark them up a little bit more than I think they should. But if you need to get your fix, Barnes & Noble has them in a pinch. So that's it. This has been a really long-ass video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have some ideas now to occupy your family when you want them out of your hair. Or if you need to spend quality time and make a thing because it's rude for you to work on freelance in front of your family, but it's not rude to work on Gundam kits in front of your family because they will want Gundam kits of their own. So Gundam kits, yes, Gunpla, do it. Holiday hack. Gundam holiday hack. All right, I'm gonna stop now. Hopefully it won't be so long between videos, but we'll see. All right, thanks a lot, and I'll check you later. Bye.